Okay, so I don't have VSR storage space set up yet. I thought I'd get a little bit done. I think I found a little bit of an issue. So VSR, okay, so Altiris release update 3 does not support VSR 18 SP3. They say it will support VSR 18 Management Solution SP4. But it works. There are only two things I could not get really to work. One is Chrome, which I believe we're here. So let's go ahead and take a quick peek at that. So one of the things I found that wouldn't work is when you create an item, let's say create, let's create, see, stuff doesn't work. Now, that's fine. If you go into IE, we'll do a new tab. And see, we didn't even get that pop-up window. We got management tasks, backup policies, independent recovery. Hit create. See, it works. So it works in IE, doesn't work in Chrome. So that's one little thing. Let's minimize this. The second thing is a little trick here. I will more so show you that differently. So install plugin for Veritas System Recovery. Let's go ahead and click this guy. Right, see, that's not working. So anything within that page, you're going to want to do, oh, that's Edge browser. All right, let's come back over here. Package policies, plugin. We're going to, you know what? I want to do this differently. Settings, all settings. Backup recovery. Let's see. 2013 R2. Don't want that. All right, here we go. So here's this software, okay? So we need under agents, backup recovery. Now I have a job set up at work where I put the two together. You just need to know the command line. So the trick I had was you want to prevent this from force restarting and then install the management agent. Problem is if you install the management agent, it resets the agent forgets where it left off, and it will never do this piece. So there's a command line. I mean, if somebody wants to chat it down low, if you want to know what it is, and I'll dig it up. But for now, we're going to come over here. So this is disabled. We're going to clone it. Lab, install Veritas plugin. We're going to delete this, apply to admin computers. Right, we only have one in there right now, which is great. And we will enable it. We'll check these off to play around with that to see what does it look like. Now we're on the machine itself. Let's check it in. Start automatically after 4 minutes. This was the start task. Run now. There we go. Agent shuts down. So while that is going, let's come down here. Now I don't deploy the user interface because in there people can make their own schedules and they can do things. We don't want that. Here I'm going to, just so we have everything, because you still want to create a VSRD boot disk and you do need a machine somewhere. And since this is my admin machine, why not? Eventually, maybe our Windows 10 or 8, we can install no user interface. And telemetry. I do off. So we will clone this guy. Lab VSR 18 with I just don't like long names, so we'll just do that. Okay. Delete this, apply to admin computers, on. You can choose the language, well, or let the OS. All right. I know I didn't save it yet. Now, the other thing I like doing with my machines, especially stuff like this, because you're constantly wrong. You're constantly hitting this guy to go do this. It's just show all icons. All right. Show all. There we go. So now we're good to go. Okay. Let's save this guy. Update now. There we go. You can double click. You can watch your download history right here. So it'll cache it locally. And we have HTTP, HTTPS, and UNC path enabled. At work, I'm locking down. We're going to do HTTPS only. We have our SSL certs in place. I haven't unchecked packet servers not to use these. I'm going to. Need to actually test that because I think I'm going to do RU3 up 8.5 RU3 Monday. Okay, so that is down. So now it should be installing. Yep, it's running. So this is interesting. It doesn't show the other line items I'm used to seeing. We get this. Restart computer automatically, unconditionally. Common installer SSR. This is the console. This is silent. No, there's console. I forget what this was. Agent service browser. So it's going to install the browser, V2I browser, and disable telemetry. All right. All right, it's going. While that's going, let's bring up, it's about stored procedures. The heck? Oh, here it is. Okay. Let's go to here. I think I already have it. I don't know why I'm bothering, but what updates are available? VMware cumulative. We should see. We should be deploying that. All right. Let's see. Program files. Altiris. Notification server. There. See, we do have our spot right. This is different. Let's do new folder. Lab backups. Let's do, well, I don't care. Let's do everyone. Read rate. Alright, so that's good there. Yep, admin PC's rebooting, good. I'll wait for it to come up. That was a little sluggish. Oof. Definitely a little sluggish here. Alright. Trying to look at the actual server. Doesn't look too bad. CPU, 20%. Memory, 120 gig. Network, couple spikes, disk. Oof, they were like crazy. Alright. So, let's bring up IE. Oof. Alright, so we're back in here. Let's go Internet Options. Oh. Okay, so now that we're here, Home. Now, there's two different things. You can configure these settings. Should be able to if I remember correctly. Command files. Restore. Huh. Manage policies, actually. So my point is you can do this in Chrome. This part. Because what we're going to do right now are these. So let me pause. Alright, so so if we come in here and apps and features and we take a look. Come on, scroll. Veritas System Recovery, 1803. This is what comes with the SP3 download. Now we're going to take this a step further. Alright, I thought I had it saved already, but I do not. So let's go ahead and jump out. So SP4 is out for the software. SP4 is not out for the management side. So let's go and do download recovery 18. Interesting. Why does that look weird? Alright, dude, Veritas trialware. Here we go. And still getting over being sick. My throat's still scratchy, so I apologize. So thank me at myhome.com. United States, New Jersey, me, you, mine. Alright. Alright. So as you see here, Veritas System Recovery 1803 Management. But here we go. So I don't know what the basic edition is. I always grab multilingual product. It may be English only, and it may be all I need. I don't know. So it's 808 meg. As we see, we're cranking out. You know what I haven't done from in here? Let's see what we get on speed test while that's downloading. Not bad. Alright, it's climbing. There we go, much better. That's what I was going to say. Wow, my virtual environment's getting what I get on my non-virtual. So 285 down should be about 10 up. If it decides to go. There we go. Yeah, not bad. So, virtual environment's going well. Alright. So that is done. Sweet. Now, what I've done is I've actually deployed this. I'm not going to do that here. I will explain to you what I did real quick. Not that it's difficult or anything. So, inside this folder, I love it, Veritas. If you're watching this, come on, man. SSR is a folder. It's not Symantec, it's Veritas. Oh, wait, Broadcom now, so it can be BSR. So, Broadcom just bought out System Recovery. Anyway, what you need is inside this folder, you need these guys. And what I've done is, actually you need this one and this one separately, and you can do applicability rules. It's applicable if it's 32-bit OS or 64, and go from there. For this one, we're just going to run plain old browser. And by doing that, you can do one policy. Once again, one policy. And that one policy, it'll have both the 32 and 64. It'll go, are you 32-bit OS? No. 64K, skip it. And then it'll detect the 64-bit OS. And then it will go there. Alright, no need for you to watch it install. There you go. See, you got it right to here. Still going. Copying files. Alright, we got to reboot. But I do want to show you one thing. So, I haven't taken a look yet at it with Orca. I was telling you earlier how I would use Orca for certain things. And now, it 8.5 RU3, maybe RU2, pulls the actual GUID in, which is really nice. If you go down to, I think I told you it was property, you can get the upgrade code. We're looking for the product. Product code right there. So there's the GUID we want. So there's things in here though, like check this out, shortcuts. It tells you the name, where it's going to put it, the target, and you can delete these if you wanted to. I'd have to really run through. I'm trying to think. But in here, there's stuff in here you can really figure out. This is where I was telling you, like, if a software's locked down to say nothing newer than Windows 7 and you're trying to install it Windows 10, and it goes, sorry, invalid OS, you can find it in here. But just want to, ISS setup file. So you just got to become, familiar with where things are. Maybe I'll take a deeper dive another day. But like I said, so you can do the MSI. But look, I even found MSTs you can look into. Anyway, let's go ahead and reboot. All right. All right. Here's our Windows 7 box. All right. And there we go, 1804. It's coming up. It's at risk. We don't have a policy. Got to figure out why my machine is unable to, why this machine is having a problem with loading the page in Altiris. So, all right, well, I got to take my kid to soccer, so we'll be back. All right, so I added my machine to trusted sites, and it helped some. So in internet options, so I click create. I'm getting this error now, which required ActiveX object. That's fine. Let's see if it works. So Altiris NS-cap lab backups. Let's take this. Trying to think real quick. All right, so let's log into here. Actually, we'll let that sit. But all right, so if we come over here, we throw in our location. Okay, so that worked. This is our, okay. We don't have users, groups. We don't have the AD tools installed. Windows Admin Center. Let's see. I forgot where I left off with this. All right, well, for now, we'll just do test lab Altiris. Put our password in. Put our password in. Apply. And there we go. Refresh. And there it is. Now, we have our storage in here. We have our machine all ready to go. There's no backup policy. All right. So let's go up. Backup policies. Negative recovery points, independent. I'm just going to do independent. Independent is a full backup every time. Recovery point. If you hover, it doesn't really tell you. But so recovery point, initial recovery point, additional recovery points containing incremental changes. So I'm not worried about that. We're going to do a full. So create backup of all drives. Let's do full backup of all drives. Okay. Here's you can choose all your here's all your drives, or you can do by individual drives. And I believe as it detects drives, it starts building a list. So it can be a pain. That's why all drives is easier. All right, create subfolder for each computer. I don't use offsite copy. We're not going to enable password protection. If you do, look, 8 characters for 128. 192 is 16. 256-bit is 32 characters. That's a big password. All right, under advanced, we're going to do high compression, active backup policy, limit number 3. Don't verify, don't disable, we'll ignore bad sectors, perform full VSS backup. We're not going to divide it into smaller. Limit the number of recovery point sets and perform full feature are not supported in Linux. Okay. Well, this isn't Linux. Okay. So there, we're good. We got our advance. We hit save. It's like, well, okay, well, we have a backup policy. Where do we assign it? Once this policy is created, you have to edit it, turn it on, and choose who it's going to apply to. So we'll apply the policy to all machines. Well, all that'll do is it'll give us a full backup option for any machine that gets the agents. All right, so we're good there. Say OK. Refresh. There it is. Let's go to our machine. Update. Nice and quick. We right click. Wrong icon. There it is. Now let's give it a shot. Ah, there we go. Created the folder. So as you see, it works, even though they say it's not really supported. RU3 and VSR-18 SP3 management solution with SP4 software. All right, gonna let this run, and we'll be back when it's done. Okay, good morning. So it turns out that I'm still really sick, and I went to bed at 8 o'clock. I couldn't keep my eyes open, and my throat's very choppy and scratchy, so I apologize for that. So the backup finished last night. There we go, as we see. So close that. Here's the folder where we put it, and here we go. Now, some things to note. You can do what they call a cold backup. The cold backup, excuse me, the cold backup allows you to create a thumb drive or a CD and boot off of it and do a backup from there. That way you have no agents installed, you have no schedule, no nothing. It's just called a cold backup. The downside to that, let's do this, view, file name extensions. This file does not get created, okay? This SV2I file. This SV2I is awesome. It's an answer file. It basically tells the restore mechanism, here's the hard drives, here's the layouts, here's how big, it's all the information. When you do a cold backup, you don't get this. When you got to do restore, it's a real pain in the butt. But I don't know if we can edit this in Notepad or something. Let's take a look, see if we can. No. Notepad. All right. So let's not do it that way. Let's do it. Well, we could do WordPad, but I did notice I had open with code. Let's see what does that look like. Okay. Coming up. And it's one big giant long line too. But let's go Maxwell. But you see what I'm saying. So computer name, admin PC, memory size 2047, OS type, volume 1. Yeah, it had, if it's hidden. So this is definitely nice having this. So that's really it for the backup piece. And on the restore, it's not that difficult. Let's do this. And look, we got our little green icon, little check saying we're good to go. Still on product trial, it says. I gotta figure out why I wasn't able to apply the license. All right. So we'll do this next. Finish. But for you to create, so as I was telling you, I mean, you need to install the console on a machine. And the purpose for that is for you to go tasks. Man, my head's real clogged up right now. Let's see. Remove, recover. One time, set up lights up, restore. Oh, customize existing recovery disk. Create new recovery disk is blanked out. Not quite sure why. What happens if I click this? Alright, so we have to run through this whole process. And you need tools, which we'll see. Veritas, no. Alright, now it's not going to do it. Confirm. Yes. I believe, let's see, I think we might have a startup option. So, Veritas System Recovery. We might not have installed it actually. But anyway, it's a recovery point browser. Might as well show you this while we're here. Let's go ahead and grab this. No recovery points found on that machine. That's fine. Control V. Alright. So here are the different, so I have a recovery partition and all this, but here's our big one. Here we go. It tells us about it. Say OK. And here's all of our files. So it's really cool. Yeah, you can, let's see what we got. What's in incoming? Nothing. Users, Jeff, desktop. Anything here? Alright, I don't want the desktop INI. Alright, VM tools. Let's take drivers. Let's take this whole drivers folder. I don't know. Can we drag and drop it? No, still don't have that ability. But you right click, recover, and you tell it where you want it to go. We're just going to right to desktop, select folder, recover. 16 files. There it is. So that's nice having. Yeah, it's a nice, come on, their files, not just, okay, so it's nice for you to do a backup and not have to do a restore to pull files out of it. Let's go ahead and, for the sake of it, close this, minimize this. Let's go ahead and minimize this. Let's go back in here. Let's launch this, set up again. Let's do installation. Install. Some Dunkin' Donuts coffee to get this feeling good. Modify. Let's do modify. Look at that. Didn't have it selected. What is this? Lets you open recovery points and restore Microsoft Exchange mailboxes, folders. You can also restore unstructured files and folders. Nice. So you can do mailboxes. We don't need that. What the hell? Might as well just install it just because it's a lab. All right. So I'm going to let this run through its thing, and we'll be right back. And like that, we're done. It wants us to reboot. We're not going to. All right. The other thing we can do is system recovery monitor. I haven't really played around with that yet. .NET is not installed on your computer. Please install .NET. What? How's it talking about? I thought .NET was included. Apps and features. I was at the right spot. Programs and features. Features on or off. .NET Framework for A, Advanced Services. Alright, so I went and downloaded .NET 4. Let's see what happens when we try and run it. We are on Windows 10 1903. See that? .NET 4 is already installed part of the system. You do not need to install .NET 4. Great. Alright, well, looks like we're not going to get to play around with that at the moment. 4.8 is here. Close that, close that. Close this. Try this again. Or later. No, whatever. So we're not going to play around with that. Getting back to it. We now have the recovery disk creator. So before we go any further, we need to understand, if typical or advanced, requires Windows ADK for Windows 10. No, advanced does. Recovery disk can be used to recover all supported operating systems. Yes, with a star. Use a typical option on the latest support version of Windows operating system. Creates both 32, 64-bit disks. No, 64-bit only, same as the installed operating system. Advanced can do both. Creates multilingual. Advanced is yes. Recovery disk. So that's that. So what we'll do is we're just going to create the typical. Let's do lab VSRD. Create on a USB device. No, I want the ISO because we're going to boot off the ISO in a VM. And we're going to drop this right on the desktop. And it's not going to be called Veritas VSRD. The file name is going to be the same. Okay, next. Alright, hold on. Alright, we're back. So after you enter your license key, you click next, and this is what you have. This is where you can add more drivers for other systems and whatnot. Since this is a VM, this will work fine. VM, Ethernet adapters, some other drivers here. But we'll just hit next. Time zone, language, network options, automatically start network. I want a dynamic. I don't want DHCP. I want DHCP, not static. I'm not going to worry about firewall because it's disabled. Select enable lights are restored to create or cover environment on your local system. No, I don't want to. So what it does is it creates a part of your hard drive. When you enable this feature, the following two options are available. The operating system installed on this computer or Veritas lights out restore. I believe, because I haven't ever used it, but I think what it does, it creates a bootable partition that will then allow you to do what we're doing here. It'll boot up into the VSRD locally on the machine. And that's it. I'm just going to go ahead and let it create. This takes time, so it says 7 minutes, but we'll see. All right, we'll be back. All right, so it's done, and like that, you could use this file, this ISO. You can use this with Rufus to create a bootable thumb drive, and that would totally work just fine. For now, we're going to, let's do this, just to show you. All right, let's drop this out here. Okay, so that's there. Let's go ahead and go back into here. Come on, root, log in. All right, come on. All right, so we're in. All right, so we're going to do create register VM, create new, VSR test. Alright, Windows 10 64-bit, next. Free, we'll drop it there. I'll just leave everything default except for this, thin provision. Oh, I can't. I gotta also do 10 gig network. We have to do it as VMXNet and video. Specify. I always do double 8 enable and 512. What I found is with those settings you can actually get the full resolution VMs, and you can also drag and drop them bigger to get there. Alright, so virtual machines. Here's our VSR test. Launch. It always goes behind. It doesn't go foreground for some reason. Let's start. Okay, started powering on. Movable device, CD-ROM, ISO. Let's go to software, Altiris Lab VSRD. Control insert. Hit a key to boot. And it's on its way. It will start booting. Takes time. And I'm going to let that go, and we will be back. There we go. There's a little Windows logo. But we'll be right back once it comes up. It does take a couple minutes and whatnot. No need to sit here watching a black screen with a window and a squirrely. Alright, I say that, and here we go. Veritas popped up. And there's ways of customizing this as well. We've actually installed real VNC into it, so, which is really cool. So got a site far away, I'll just say over by California, and they booted up, and they're like, well, we're having problems. I said, well, give me the IP. I went right into it from Jersey all over to there, so it was awesome. So we have that. We have BG info. We have the auto accept button done. We have drive mappings. There's a lot you can do. I'd like to try and figure that out and show you how that's done in this lab too. So we'll see if maybe that'll be my next thing. We shall see. All right. Well, this is what takes a while. So all right. All right. So here we go. It came up. End user license agreement. Like I said, you can do an auto accept. Next is starting networking services. That takes a little while as well. All right, so it came up, and there we go. So this is where you would do, say, recover my computer. There's no points here, so you can map a network drive. We'll do system. So if you did a cold backup, you'll be doing file name, but we're doing system. So I don't know if this will allow us. Let's go back here. We did Altiris NS cap, lab backup. Nope, no, Alt tab, not to that. All right, map a network drive. We will do Z. Altiris NS cap. Connect to a different user. Tesla Lab. Altiris. Okay, we map the drive. So browse. Just collapse that. Z. Lab backup. Admin. Choose it. Next. Now, if you throw a hard drive in that is used already, you kind of want to come over here to analyze, open command shell. You want to disk part, list disk, select disk. Now it would show the disk here, and you would select the disk if it's 400 gig, 500 gig, a terabyte, whatever. You would select it, and then it would say now selected, and you'll do clean. Okay, and that's it. Just stop there. Once you say yes to clean, you exit, and you come back, and this will come up. And then you want it to do this for you. Disk structures takes about 32 seconds. So there you go. As I said, about 32 seconds. I paused the video, so now let's move on. All right, problems with some of the entries in the index file. No clue why. Recovery, no label. Disk 1, C drive, invalid. What? Edit. Great. All right. So let's do this. Remove, add, browse. And you gotta go through all three when you do this. So no file. Let's do this. Add this. Okay, so far they both added. Add, browse, and it was the C disk we had a problem with. Invalid. Why is it invalid? Edit. Oh, size. Cancel. Cancel. Shoot. All right. Shut down. Let's go ahead and bring up VMware. Root. VSR test. We want to edit settings. We're going to take our hard drive and delete it. All right. So we're going to add a hard drive. And we're going to add a 900 gig thin provision. Save. Okay, now we come back over to this. We hit power on, and of course it will disconnect, so we need to reconnect to our ISO. And we will boot, and we will come back when it comes back up ready. Alright, so you can always go to bigger hard drives. Going backwards to smaller, I believe you can. If, well, we don't have all that data to use. I don't know. I have no clue going smaller, but who the hell would want to do that? So anyway, I don't like this as well. You can't expand this. It's frustrating. But there's three. You got to be able to see all your partitions. So we have a recovery partition, then a no label, and then a C. Do not verify. If you're doing bare metal, you can actually hold, I believe it's a left control key, and you check this off. There you go. And you can say delete existing drivers or prompt for drivers. And this is how you can do a bare metal. So we're not going to do that. Let's see, do not verify. So there we go. Reboot when finished. We already have one up, so who knows, it may just conflict the IP and whatnot. But for now, the point is just to see it come up. So we're going to let this go. This is going to take a couple hours most likely, so we'll be back. Actually, it didn't take that long at all. It already restored. It's up and running. And let's see if we can log in. Like I said, it might be a duplicate IP conflict or something. Don't know. But as you can see up here, we're on VSR test. And it has imaged and it's back up. Let's see if it looks the same once it goes in. Alright, here we go. Machine is up, it's running. And got a couple little things here, but all in all, it's here. Remember, we had the system recovery folder, software in there. Yeah, it's running. Sweet. Alright, I'm going to shut it down before I mess up my other one. But yeah, this is cool. So VSR worked. Nice, quick, and easy. Alright, and that's it.